Very good evening to one and all. I hope everybody is, my voice is audible to all. You can raise your hand if it is audible. All right, thank you so much. So today is one of the most important session which is going to happen, and which has changed a lot of lives due to the impact of COVID-19. We all have been facing tremendous changes in our lives, from off roll to on roll, from offline to online, and from practical sense to virtual sense. So today we have a guest by name Dr. Geeta Apachu. She is a psychologist, chief head of Swaprerana. She will be giving you a sort of lecture based on how the psychology is impacted under this COVID-19. And when the colleges will be reopening, what all psychological impacts will be upon the students and will be upon the parents, and how it is also going to impact the faculties. Meanwhile, we have a guest, Mr. Abdul Suban, Managing Director, Falcon Group of Institutions. He will be managing uh, the sort of introduction as well as knowledge with respect to the institutions, how the institution should run and how the management should take care of the children and the students who are coming to regular classes, subject to the conditions which are provided by the government of Karnataka under the guidelines. We also have Priyanka Singh, Principal, Educationist, the Bangalore School ECC. She also will be engaging based on the situations and circumstances which are supposed to be dealt and how we need to deal all the situations when it comes to virtual world and also when it comes to physical classes. We also have Dr. Rafiqullah Beg, author and memory expert. Before I could begin my lecture, I was thinking to improvise my memory. So I thought to let me introduce Rafiq Beg because we all need a better memory to deliver something. So we also have a Rafiq Beg today. So we will be beginning our session, today's session, in just few seconds. Now I request Dr. Geeta Apachu to give her introduction as well as start up with her lecture. Thank you so much.
Sure. Hi. Good evening to all the participants of this webinar. If I'm audible, I think I
Yes,
should
yes, it is.
first.
It is very much audible, madam. You can start.
Nice. Okay. So I am a psychologist, and I'm sure today this has become, the need of almost every functioning family and individuals to connect with a psychologist more in the sense of, requiring a mentor in their lives, up till even children doing very well also coming to connect with me in order to find out how it will be better for them to connect with a psychologist, learn better study skills. So I basically head an initiative called Swapreran, and this is an institution which has started only with two things as an objective. One, to support the corporates in doing their bit in the best functioning manner. Every employee can be more functional. This is the objective. Through training, through individual counseling sessions, I do work with schools and colleges also, in order to impart not just life skills and study skills, but also to find out whether this is a beautiful way of enhancing competence. So, apart from this, I have a functional clinic where I have hardly taken a break, especially during this pandemic. And now, of course, we do have the online consultation also. So today, everything has moved on to the digital platform. Even the addictions have increased. I just finished a webinar very recently talking about what can happen because of constant, connection with a gadget instead of the way it was before the pandemic. Well, this is also a very, very necessary webinar, and I must congratulate the organizers and thank you, especially Rafiq, for inviting me over to actually talk not concerns, but to talk from the perspectives of a psychologist. I have a couple of things to say. The first, most important thing is that uh, what is the concern of parents when we are discussing about educational institutions wanting to reopen across the state? So, if schools reopen, if colleges reopen, then how is it actually going to impact children? Well, what have we understood about this pandemic? Let's go back a little to talk about when it suddenly exploded in our Indian society. So, suddenly there was a lockdown announced, and all of us became extremely concerned. I think each and every one of us understood from whatever little education that we were getting. This is a 2020 pandemic, and all of us who belong to this generation and people from the previous generation who've never even faced a pandemic were all talking in terms of let's just follow the guidelines because this is new in our lives. So, even children across the world, I must say, were very cooperative when it came to wearing a mask and washing our hands and not touching our face in order to avoid infections, in order to avoid a COVID 19 infection. Also, it came with abundance of fear. It came with this very untold, uncanny kind of fear. And it was a very eerie kind of, a silence around when people refused to come out. People understood that it is better to stay safe, stay at home, stay safe. And in this kind of a condition and situation, a lot of people started finding out how to adapt to the new normal. This is a time where we found that in several families, there was a lot of uncertainty in terms of, okay, we were never together, and now suddenly we are together. So it brought about a lot of misunderstandings. It brought about a lot of clarifications and understanding. So I must say both, not just the negatives. And along with that, we found that a lot of children who had, a fantastic kind of a life, balancing their academics and their, activities when it came to physical activities, when it came to several other extracurricular activities, they kind of started connecting to the world through gadgets. Now, what did this do? This also brought about a lot of addiction in terms of spending more number of hours quietly listening to the known and the unknown. So we know that people have started getting used to playing games for many hours. Time was something which people were not observing in terms of managing it well. So many such things. Now, if this is a small, recap of, I don't know whether each and every participant in today's webinar has experienced it. I'm sure that somewhere you're able to connect with what I'm trying to say. That what did this pandemic do? Now, when after the lockdown, when we found that almost everywhere in the world, the society at large was trying to come back to normalcy, then they said, you know, that since we have gotten used to being careful, let's continue our individual efforts of being careful. Let's continue our individual efforts of being more organized and conscious, being aware, right? The better word is being aware. So, the more the awareness, easier it is for us not to actually have any fear of this pandemic. In fact, the more we are aware, it is easier for us to stay safe. So, this, I think, in almost 9 out of 10 homes, parents have been extremely successful. Parents have been extremely, supportive in the way of teaching their children of how to do this awareness initiative, how to go ahead with this awareness initiative. So every child has learned from parents. Every child has learned from elders at home that, you know, wearing a mask, to keep our hands clean, not to, get these contaminations to touching things, and to be more sensitive to actually sanitizing our hands, and not to actually, go and crowd in several social situations. So that social distancing is also something which almost everybody has learned. And well, I must say that most of us also are living a good life, an honorable life. Now, 9 months, since all this started, since the pandemic started, but then we have taken the initiatives to stay safe, to be more aware, to be more careful, and to protect ourselves. In this scenario, now, if the question is about what are the concerns that parents have, in fact, today I would want to use this opportunity to actually answer more questions. But then, in this period of time that I have been told to actually talk about what should be the concerns of parents as a psychologist, the first and foremost thing is that if we have to make now the shift in these 8 or 9 months, the shift again back to a regular interactive classroom session, which is a change from what was happening in these 9 months, right? In this 9 months, it was completely digital. There's so many issues and concerns that I have heard in the clinic, concerned parents talking about how children have started getting more used to, staying with their own interested sites and medias instead of actually paying more attention to the school curriculum. This has become a concern, especially among teenagers. Then, when it is digital, the monotony probably may have set in. Teachers have worked extremely hard to make this transition in these 9 months. Now, I'm sure both teachers and parents have to make this as a very beautifully licensed, program of bringing our children back to staying in school without having any kind of a phobic kind of a response. I would actually want all parents to have this clear cut demarcation both within yourselves as well as to also educate your children at home about it is required to be aware, but it is not at all necessary to become completely fearful, completely paranoid, completely influenced by the fact that whatever I do, maybe I will get this COVID-19, and COVID-19 is extremely dangerous. Well, if we all learn the beautiful mechanism of developing and building a better immune system, well, you'll all agree with me that it doesn't come by sitting, becoming couch potatoes, sitting in front of gadgets. So We need to balance, and this balance will be restored if, even before the pandemic, if in every family, parents have taken this very beautiful initiative of making children realize that it is all about being self responsible. This, I'm sure, is much better than having unknown fears. Well, how much do we know about the pandemic? Even scientists are now trying to actually bring about, the right vaccine. So when this is the situation, when this is the state of affairs, I'm sure you'll all agree that we need to take much more healthy steps forward in our lives than feeling that, oh, it's all come to a stagnation. There's so many who developed anxiety all only because that, I hate staying within the four walls. Now, when we are discussing this transition, that, it's no longer being a lockdown in your four walls, let's go out, let's have a school situation. It's very required that parents do their bit in protecting their children. Please remember that we need to be very careful. When we are aware, we can be careful. When we are clear about what is the kind of hygiene we maintain, then we are being careful. With fears, then this becomes more like an intense anxiety, an intense objective of what if. This should not be there. Neither should we have a complete kind of complacency or arrogance that nothing is going to happen. What will happen? I don't want to wash my hands. Well, let's not be in both these extremes. Let's follow a very normal, mediocre path. Let's realize that some amount of anxiety is good to make us more aware, to make us more conscious, to make us more organized in living our lives. Well, as a wellness consultant, I have found that in all these months, in the past 9 months, since the month of March, it has been, a concern among families when they discuss wellness in terms of relationships, when we discuss wellness in terms of emotional competence, when it comes to wellness among children and their academic progress. All this is possible only when we have the right attitude. Attitude is so much necessary for us, and the right attitude here is not to be in either of the extremes. So, with this, I would actually want to find out that, how do we go forward? Because I was told that I have 15 minutes to actually first start talking, and after which there will be questions. And I would really look forward to answering questions from parents and participants. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, madam. It was very enlightening. Now I request Abdul Subhan Sahab to start with his words. Abdul Subhan Sahab.
Hello to everybody. Good evening. Um, I think the students are very impatient now. They want to know when is the college going to get reopened. That is the only question which I am seeing now, where everybody is trying to just ask. Uh, First and foremost, I think nobody knows exactly. The only thing which is certain here right now, which we are seeing, the things are very uncertain. We never know what is going to happen and when things are going to change. I think streamlined or stabilized. Things are getting stabilized little bit, but I think the clarity is not there. However, the very talk, I think the discussion of the day today is about the children. I will be giving the perspective of the students during the pandemic, in the midst of the pandemic, or after the. There are two phases when the colleges are not reopened. That is in the present situation, what the children should do, and post the colleges are reopened, what will be the students' perspective. I would like to just bring to the notice one point that I think many a time everybody had used pandemic as an excuse for not doing something, but that has I think resulted into something which everybody is seeing now. Nothing in the world, nothing is going to stop for those who wants to make pandemic as an excuse for not doing something, or not doing their part, that is studies. That is the example. For example, I should say about 12th board examination. If you want to say, you can take that, or NEET examination. Everybody was of the opinion that it's not going to happen, but still there were quite many students. And I know today I happened to speak to Shoaib Aftab's father, Mr. Sheikh Abbas, and in the morning that person was trying to convey only one point, that I was really worried about my son's safety during the pandemic when everybody was coming out of quota. And I spoke to my son. My son told me only one thing: Papa, don't tell me which is the bus that is coming from Kota to Orissa. I don't want to know that. I want to make use of this particular time and this particular opportunity for my own success. I want to achieve my dream, and I will come home only when I achieve my dream. And trust me, I happened to speak to Shoaib Aftab also. A different feeling altogether. The boy has made history, and it is not just Shoaib Aftab. Everybody, whomever we have seen, those who had to, and everybody was part of the same situation where you did not have the classes, you did not have the teachers in front of you. The institutions were not allowed to function. Students were there at their home. But I know hundreds and thousands of students who may not have used this particular opportunity and wasted this opportunity. You have to find opportunity in any given challenge. This is a challenging situation. This is a challenging time for not one student or any one particular class of student or one particular school student. It is the challenging time for every student across the globe. But what is that we are going to do as a student? If you want to make use of this challenging time as an opportunity for you to put that additional effort by which you can have a lead and upper hand over others, you have to have an approach for yourself. It is your own life, because this pandemic, things are going to change. Things have already changed to large extent. The boy who refused to come to his home when the pandemic was at its peak has created history, has made the history in this country. No student has ever secured 720 marks ever. That boy has got it. And just not Shoaib Aftab. I think I know so clearly those students whom I used to interact on daily basis, irrespective of the situation which they face. For many students, the challenge is, I am not feeling comfortable sitting at home listening to that class on my laptop. But that is your one challenge. I understand that is a challenge. For few students, the network is not that good. For few students, the challenge will be, there are a lot of disturbance in my home. For few students, there can be different challenges. But I know there are very many students who had not only these challenges as the only challenges. They had much more. They have bigger challenges when it comes to making their own dreams, realize their own dreams. Like, let me tell you about, I think, Abrar. Many of you have heard about Abrar. Trust me, that boy, when he had to go to his native during the pandemic, I'm telling you the challenges which one student has to face, which many must be facing. But this challenge of this particular boy was very different. He went to his native in a migrant train. He did not have a mobile. So after reaching his home state of Rajasthan, it took 8 days for father to trace the boy, where the boy is. After 8 days, the father could able to trace the boy. After the boy was brought to home, the biggest challenge, what will happen in the morning breakfast, what they will eat in the morning breakfast, what they will eat in the afternoon. There was nothing for them to eat. The biggest challenge was whether they will be able to eat one meal in a day or not. That was the challenge. But trust me, that boy, Abrar, he had very few books with him when he was traveling. Very few books. That also, I think, forcefully was sent along with him. He had only those books. He did not have any mobile. He did not have laptop because there was no electricity at his home. That boy made use of this particular opportunity. He had enough of reasons to cry about. Many excuses were there. If he wanted to find one excuse, he had 100 more excuses to back those one excuse. But he did not budge. He did his best. And today, trust me, he got 665 marks in NEET, which is an incredible score. I know the boy had the potential of securing 720 marks. He could have been the country's topper. But in the given challenges which he had to face, he did his best. Whatever he could do, he did it. And he made all of us proud. He achieved his dream. That father, that I can see that very moment, that father doesn't know what medical means. He doesn't know which medical college is good. But today, when I speak to that father, morning I was just talking to him with respect to which college, how to get into that college and all that. Trust me, he's the happiest father. He doesn't know what his son is going to achieve, which college, one of the most prestigious college of this country, he is going to get admission. If anybody wants to take admission, 10 crore rupees is not sufficient to take admission in that particular medical college. That boy of a rickshaw puller is going to get admission in that particular college. He has made use of that particular challenges and used them as an opportunity for him. He did his best. It was just not Abrar. I know there were many students. I think now there are all the student community. When I speak to them, I think most of them have this particular issue. Whether our exams are there or not, this year exam are not postponed. So it was postponed for some time, but those exams were not cancelled. Let it be for NEET examination or the 12th board examination. It was not cancelled. It was cancelled in few states, but NEET examination was conducted at the peak of the Corona time. This year, yesterday, I think the biggest blow which came to quite many students who were waiting for the postman, some news that NEET will be postponed next year. The news came, NTA has announced that NEET examination for 2021 is going to be on the exact date, on 2nd May 2021. For all those students who were having this excuse that we don't have resources, we have this problem, we have that problem, so we cannot prepare. Trust me, this competition or this academic, whatever challenges which you have with respect to achieving what you want to achieve, that is not going to stop because of the situation. If you are not preparing well, others will prepare. They will go ahead of you. I know the challenges are there. If you don't prepare now, it is going to be much more difficult for quite many students, because when the colleges reopen, trust me, assume right now we are in the month of November. We don't know exact date when the colleges are going to open. The news which I'm hearing, maybe in the month of December. Even if the colleges reopen in the month of December, the PU board has reduced the syllabus. Let it be for 30% syllabus is reduced. Still 70% syllabus is there for the students to cover. How will you cover? In a matter of 3 months. If you don't prepare the given moment which you have right now, if you don't make use of this time which you have, rather waste it in the name of pandemic, blaming the pandemic, then you are at the loss. I urge all the students to make use of every second. I know this is not an easy time. It is not an easy time for any student. You have many challenges. Each child is facing many challenges. That is beyond anybody's control. That is what it is now. We are in that situation. So we have to make use of this situation to the best of possible ways. So I think I was referring to one of the story of Abrar, where that boy made use of that challenge which he had. That is extreme challenges. And the challenges which Yokesh, another boy, I think he had to, when he was narrating his challenges during the pandemic, I think that was something else for me altogether, because when he told me that when he had to go back to his native during the pandemic, because lockdown was announced, he came to know that his father is bedridden. He cannot move also. He had to make a living for his family also. And at the same time, he had to prepare for his NEET exam also. For that boy, the challenge was not that whether he can study online or not, whether he can take online test or not. His challenges were much bigger. And the only way he could overcome those challenges was he gave a call to me. Sir, I am in a different situation. I want to study. I want to realize my dream of becoming doctor, but I have to go to a work. And my factory is almost 70 kilometers from my native village. I will take 1.5 hours in the morning when I travel by bus to reach my to my factory. In that factory, whole day he had to work. He was doing loading and unloading work, manual daily wage laborer work. He was operating the crane. Every possible hard work which is required that he was doing at that point of time. But his request was only one. When he called me, sir, when I travel from my native village to the factory, I have 1.5 hours. I want to make use of that 1.5 hours. Can you help me out? Because our exams were of 3 hours exam. He told me, sir, can you split that exam only for me, where I will take half of the examination in one way, another half of the exam when I come back. Trust me, that boy used to take the half of the examination going to the factory. After the whole day working out in the factory, the daily wage laborer work every day, he had to come back in the evening in 1.5 hours. Again, he used to do the same thing, take the second half of the test. And trust me, he has realized his dream. He has become doctor. He has got 538 marks. For us, for many students, where our challenges are whether I have the gadget or not. I know there are many students who have very different challenges, that you don't have gadget. Only one mobile is there at home, where one family member is using that particular mobile, or one of the family member who is maybe in some other class using that particular time for his or her classes. Then what will I do? Nothing should stop you from your learning process. You have to make use of every situation, no matter. I know for many students, if I name, it is not good. I know there are students who have 3 members who use the one phone every day and study. There are 2 brothers and 1 sister, different classes, different school, but still not a single day that a student misses the exam, misses the classes. Though sometimes that student has to miss the live class, they will see the recorded class. You don't have to make an excuse that I cannot do because of X, Y, Z reason. You have to say that I will do because of X, Y, Z reason. You have to make use of that particular challenge what you have, and use that particular challenge as an opportunity for you to overcome these challenges and get ahead in the competition. This is a competitive world. We are into a competitive examination where every student has to write an exam, where if you don't perform, others will perform and go ahead. So I think later on I will take the questions. With this, I think I thank for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Subhash. Now I request Madam Priyanka Singh to initiate it.
Thank you so
Madam
much.
Priyanka. Yes.
To everyone.
Please go.
Okay, great. So it was actually a nice opportunity for me to share this stage with all the respective panelists over here. And I was checking, the chat box over there. It is reminding me my college days, the time, when the panelists or professors or teachers were talking and me and my friends were discussing what is next. And, or, when they're going to answer our questions. So I will request all the amazing attendees. Just hold on, guys. I think we have the amazing panelists here. They will definitely answer all of your questions. So here I am, Priyanka Singh, principal of the Bangalore School ECC. And as you all know, that the COVID-19 pandemic, it has affected education system worldwide, not only our country, not only our colleges, but the worldwide effect and which we all are going through. So in fact, it has, lead us to the closure of schools, universities, and colleges. In the second week of March, I think I was busy with my school annual day preparation, and I got this information from PO, Block Education Officer office, that we have to shut down the school. And just imagine, the classes were going on, and I have got this information that no, you cannot, continue the classes. You have to shut it down. You have to send immediate message to all the parents and to the daycare students, and whatever activity you have planned is just cancel it. It was a situation where not only me, my colleagues, and the team members from the other school, we have started discussing what is going on, what is the future of it. So this was the situation, this was the panic at that time, because nobody was aware what is this corona. We were just discussing, we were listening, and we were, coming up with our own conclusion, own story, that, if you'll breathe, you will get this corona. If you will touch anything, you will be positive. If you'll even talk on phone, you will get it positive. It was lot and lot of stories. So I think now the situation is much better, right? We know what it is exactly, how it is going to impact all of us, how we can take care of ourselves. But I think there are still many things which we all have to understand. I mean, it's close to 8 months, literally, and there is no certainty when they will reopen schools, when they will reopen colleges. There are rumors in this state, this country, that country. I have my colleagues, they are working in Sweden, and I got to know from them that, they have started basic schools for kids. They are following all the protocols, measurement, but again, they have shut it down because there are many parents who are not agreeing to send their kids to school, right? Because now the thing which is much more important is the safety, security, by keeping the future in mind. Also, we as an educationist, we as a student, we don't want our learning to be stopped. But still, this COVID-19 situation, it is like a crucial time for the education sector. Board exams, nursery school admissions, entrance tests of various universities, and and competitive exams, among others, are all held during this period, if I am not wrong. I mean, I will request all the respective panelists to correct if any of my data are, not correct. Anyways, so as the day pass, by with no immediate solution to stop this outbreak of COVID-19, schools and, university, we all have closed it. We have shut it down. We have shut down the learning for more than 285 million young learners in India. But again, we have started it through blended learning, though it is not the complete blended learning till the time kids are not physically present to school. What we are doing now, we are using the technology to help our kids to learn. So as my respective panelists said earlier, that if there is a will, there is a way, right? So if we want to study, doesn't matter what the situation is, our professors, our teachers, our universities, they are reaching to each and every student. We just have to take one step ahead so that we as a student don't stop our learning, right? But now the bigger concern, however, on everybody's mind is the post effect of COVID-19, right? Because we all are somehow surviving this situation. We are learning through online method. We are using different platform. But what will happen after this COVID-19? That is the most important question. We are in a dilemma. Maybe the school will open immediately. We'll start going to school. No, things are going to be changed completely. But yes, needless to say, the pandemic has transformed the centuries old talk teaching, which was much more required for India, especially I will say for our country, because we were still following the old school method of learning. Where on the other hand, the other countries, they are advanced. Now we have started using blended learning. Now we have started using technology or different platform like Microsoft Teams, Zoom, Stream, or whatever. But when we talk about other countries, when we talk about the kids, those who are studying in a different country, they are much more ahead than us. Now we have started asking our kids, this is your assignment, you have to upload, and your respective professor and teacher will, check this from their home. Oh, come on, this is just the, new method for us. But when we talk about the countries like US, UK, Europe, they are doing it. It is like an easy peasy lemon squeezy task for them. New for us, definitely, courtesy Corona. At least we have started thinking about 2030 education. So I think not only the educationists, not only the professors, but kids also have to utilize this opportunity. They have to understand that, yes, we are in a dark situation, but we have one ray of hope. We just have to use it for our growth, because we are not going to be here. We have to develop our skills, right? We have to compete the people, those who are standing on world level. We have to think about the globe prospects, like where I am standing as a student, as a student. This is what we have to say, think. Fortunately, the NEP 2020, it has come at the correct time. I mean, definitely, I will say thank you to policymakers that at least they did something good, though they do a lot. But when it comes to education, the education policy, the National Education Policy 2020, this has also started talking about the education prospects for 2030, for the future learning. Like, I see a lot of kids were throwing the question, when school will reopen, what about the exams format, how many exams will be there. So I will request all such curious kids, go through NEP 2020. It is easily available on net. So there you will be able to understand. Now there are a lot of things they have changed. You can select the subjects, right? Like earlier it was like the stream which you used to select, science or arts or whatever. But now it is the subject based. You can select the subject. Same thing they have changed by keeping higher studies in mind. So I think if you'll go through it, you will be able to understand a lot of question which you are asking, because it's much more easier to read and then ask the questions. So that you can do. But when it comes to my personal point of view, what I believe is that multi-pronged strategy is necessary to manage the crisis and build the resilient Indian education system in the long term. How we can do that? Well, I have few pointers which I will like to share, though I'm trying to keep track of time as well. So I think all the universities, they have to take immediate measure to ensure continuity of learning through digital learning solutions and learning management software. Also, it should be adopted by teachers and professors so that they can conduct blended teaching, post COVID as well. Because now, if we'll talk about the child who's studying in K2, believe you me, whenever my teachers, they conduct sessions, they're so smart that they know when to log in, how to write the address which the teacher has asked them to do it, when to unmute, when to mute, and they have started typing. I mean, still they are finding it difficult to write, but these smart bunch of kids, they are able to type. So they are so quick in terms of adopting technology. So I think not only kids, but the teachers, professor, parents, we also have to understand that this is the new normal. This is the demand of time, by keeping future in mind. So this is where we all have to enhance our skills. The number two, which I will say, is strategies are required to prepare the higher education sector for the involving demand supply trends across the globe. Actually, I want my Indian kids, our kids, to set an example on globe. And I can see, I'm actually very impressed by seeing all the chat conversations. So I'm sure they will do that, definitely. So what I think that, globally, spacely globally, they have to do global mobility of students and faculty, because these kids, they are comfortable with their own set of teacher, with their own professors and all. So if they get this opportunity, to get this global mobility, they will definitely improve the quality of demand for higher studies in India and abroad. And further, immediate measures are required to mitigate the effect of the pandemic on job offers, internship programs, and research project. I think there are many things which we see, you know, uh, but we don't apply or we don't do for our kids. So I think this is the time when we should give that opportunity or knowledge to our kids, those who are in colleges and universities, that what they can select so that they can get better opportunity to select the best job option for them. So this is something which we have to start doing. And when we go to basic as in schooling system, I think schooling system, it has increased the effectiveness of learning and teaching, giving students and teachers multiple options to choose from. In fact, many districts are there, they have started using this blended learning method. uh, I think other states should also adopt this, as well as colleges, because inclusive learning solutions, especially for the most vulnerable, and needs to be developed with a rapid increase of mobile internet users in India. As earlier our panelist was talking about the use of mobile, mobile, one of the family is using one mobile to help three kids to learn. So let's use this mobile internet, let's increase it, which is expected to reach, I think, 85% household by 2024. Now we are luckily in 2020, though not a very wonderful year. But yes, as I said, 85% family is there who use this internet based mobile. So obviously we can plan our curriculum in a manner which can reach to all those kids, because technology enabling access and personalization of education, even in the remote parts of the country, it is much more required as a part of continuous learning, and this is needed, and this will happen post COVID. So I think now itself we have to start using it, though I'm talking more for universities where they have to improve, right? Anyways, so there are some of the concern that we all have about returning safely to in-person teaching environment, right? Because now what we are doing, we are managing it from our home. Kids are learning from their home. We are helping them to learn from our home, right? But definitely very soon we all will see each other. Please note, dates are not yet come. We as a head of the organization, we don't know. We just received the information that maybe after 3 days you have to go through sanitization and all that. But the information that when the schools or colleges will reopen, that we haven't received yet. So we definitely want it to be happen soon, because we are also missing all our little and young kids in schools. They're talking, their birds chirping and all that. But unfortunately, there is no information from government that when the schools or colleges will reopen. It all depends on the number of COVID-19 cases, how it is increasing, decreasing, and how nicely we are taking care of that. There's definitely a good news that the COVID vaccine is there, but it is not yet easily available in the market, because their strategies are still going on, how they will provide it to the family or to the people. Are they going to follow the Aadhaar card number, or how? So the discussion is still going on. And our policy makers, once they will come up with the solution, definitely we will also get to know when the schools will reopen. So anyways, so what we have to do, we have to make sure that it's a safe and healthy to get into the classroom, because this is one of the big areas of concerns. Because I have received a lot of questions from parents as well, that ma'am, I want to send my child, but what protocol you will follow? Now, when it comes to protocol, I share as per my point of view, as per my organization point of view. But when it comes to the guideline from government, that we haven't received yet. It is the basic guideline, which we always hear from news, right? We are always in a contact, because it is a registered school. So we are always in a contact of BEO. But when it comes to guideline, sorry, we haven't received yet. So I'm still waiting. So till the time we don't receive any information, I think all the panels will agree with me. We will not take the risk, and we will not, open school physically. So as I was saying earlier, the more the more that we dug into that, we will recognize that there were entry and agrees challenges. Also, we have all been living a life of social distancing since March. So functionally, we have to rethink how classrooms, hallway, bathrooms, common areas, and the core school facilities would work in order to provide high quality and compliant special education services, but also in order to have credibility with families that the return to school will be appropriate and safe. what back to school might look like in this new academic year, it is unclear. This is what I will say because this is what I am seeing, As of now, whether students will be able to return to full-time in-person instructions or whether some combination of in-person and remote teaching will be required. But what is certain in that resuming in-person instruction will require changes to the physical school environment to accommodate social distancing and new procedures such as temperature check before entry, where would teachers and students stand in a social distancing line in order to accomplish all of the bases outlined in the guidance that we are all reading and looking to. So our basic assumptions is that we need to begin designing real practical solutions.
Priyanka, 1 minute to conclude, please.
Oh, I'll do that, don't worry. So
I thought you were tracking your time.
yeah, I love talking though. To,
Yeah.
closer statements, which is for my teachers and the parents and all the attendees over here. So I think parents, they play the important role in making sure that the children, they understand and learn and follow the new rules in schools and colleges. So I think all the kids, they are very smart. Honestly, they know much more than us because they know the reality. We go through rumors because we don't have much time to read blogs. But our kids are so smart nowadays that they read blogs, they make their pointers. So I think they know what they should do and what they should not, when they come to school or colleges. So I will request all the respective attendees, the students, to follow all the protocols by keeping pandemic, the COVID-19 in mind. Stay safe, stay healthy, and keep on rocking and writing your questions, which you are keep on doing in chat box. Because after that, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to read all of that. So thank you so much, and please continue with the next respective panelist, please.
Thank you, Priyanka. Thank you very much. Now I request Rafiullah Beg Sab, the most required person. We all require memorization. We all require to make our memory the best one so that we can deliver something. So let me call Rafiq Beg Sab.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Festive greetings to all my non-Muslim friends. Happy Deepavali. And then I would like to congratulate Mr. Anwar Ali for arranging this wonderful webinar. And just before I proceed further, I would like to check whether I'm audible.
Yeah, it's very much audible, sir. It's very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala rasulihil kalim amma ba'd. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. I would like to quote words from the Holy Quran, which is repeatedly coming in the Holy Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, La yukallifullahu nafsan illa usaha. Well, the English translation of this says that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is promising his creation that I will never put burden on anybody more than he can sustain it. Well, that's a promise which has been repeated in the Holy Quran quite a few times. Now, why did I quote this right in the beginning? Because we are all going through a particular challenge in the world, and the coronavirus has wiped out the normal and it has brought a new normal. And of course, we need to adapt. And those people who are adapted to this situation have done extremely well. Like my esteemed co-panelist, Abdul Subhan was quoting about unprecedented results by unprecedented times. People who fought this coronavirus in a way that they emerged as the champions. And of course, yes, I would like to see the positives of this pandemic. This is not going to be forever. This is going to go away. In the history of mankind, there has been these kind of viruses which has come once in 100 years and they have gone back. And people have gone back to normalcy. And I suppose we are on the way to normalcy, and it will take a while for us to get into a total normal. But what are we going to focus is very important. What we focus is what we get. Like people have outperformed themselves, 720 marks out of 720 marks, never heard. And it came when there is a COVID situation. Never happened before a COVID situation. When people were relaxed and people were happy, when people were enjoying, nobody scored 720 out of 720. When people were suffering, people are worried about their lives and livelihoods. Now there came a person who scored out of out. Unprecedented times brings unprecedented results. And that's what we need to learn from the history. And it's very important for you to know, much before the pandemic could start, there was a report from NIMHANS. And that report came in about a year ago. And the report came after studying the psychology of the students across the country. And I don't know whether my co-panelists and the parents and the students who are participating from various parts of this wonderful country know this report. I wish you could know this report. The report says that out of every 10 kids, there are 4 kids in India who are in depression. This was much before COVID situation. I would like to remind you this. And this is a report coming from NIMHANS which says that out of every 10 kids in India below the standard age, out of every 10, 4 are under depression. That's a national average. Well, that means to say the education system and the overall system that we have created has put in a lot of stress on the kids already. And the COVID situation brought in a new realm altogether. Now, in this situation, my focus today will be on the parenting part of it. Well, the education institutes are doing their own bit. The government is doing its own bit, whether good or bad, we all are witness to that. But the kids are spending the most number of hours in a day with their parents now, which they used to spend with the teachers earlier. And the parents used to say, with my experience of 25 years, whenever we did the parenting session, they used to complain, "Yalli sir, namatra time mila, हमारे पास time is कहाँ है? बच्चों के साथ time बिताने के लिए time नहीं है. मैं भी काम को जाती हूँ, मेरी बीवी भी काम को जाती हूँ, so time नहीं है." Now parents were escaping giving that reason. और ಒಂದು ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಏನಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ time ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಕೈ ಎತ್ಬಿಡೋದು, teachers ಎಲ್ಲ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. They used to put all the responsibility on the teachers. And then the least they can do is to spend time with the kids, which they're not able to do. So they then send the kids to the tuition. Okay, school ho band diya, school se aa gaya, jao tuition bhi jao. And then tuition ko aao, and then you study, you do homework, and then sleep. Now parents have got all the time in the world to spend with the kids. Now the roles have changed. Now parents have another complaint. क्या बच्चे सुबह से शाम तक घर में चाहिए, हमें भी घर में चाहिए, उन्होंने भी वीडियो देख ले को क्लास अटेंड करी, हमें भी वर्क फ्रॉम होम कर ले को बैठी. Now you should be thankful that all these years Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala never give an opportunity to spend time with your kids. आपके बच्चे कहाँ बड़े हो गए, आप ऑफिस को निकल गए, वो ट्यूशन को निकल गए, आप घर को आए, वो ट्यूशन में है, वगैरह वगैरह. Used to miss, and then now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it like you spend a day in and day out with the parents. Now parents को तो खुश होना चाहिए कि पिछले 7-8 महीनों में आप जो तरबियत, जो इन्फ्लुएंस बच्चों के साथ कर सकते थे, आपने किया है. So this is a beautiful opportunity that you have utilized. And if you're not, then you're going to again say, जब schools open हो जाएंगे, normal आ जाएंगे, but बच्चे school जाने शुरू करेंगे, parents वही complain करेंगे, कहाँ हमारे पास में time नहीं है. Now the time that you have got parents, I'm talking to the parents, is crucial time. And look at the examples given by Abdul Subhan Saab. And then the parents का support कैसा था देखो, कि बच्चे खाने के लिए तरस रहे थे. उस situation में parenting का support है. Teachers बाखूबी अपना काम निभाते हैं, उसके लिए फीस भरते हैं आप लोग, मगर कोताही मेरे तजुर्बे में मैं ये देखा हूं कि घर के अंदर अगर माहौल ठीक नहीं है, सपोर्ट सिस्टम ठीक नहीं है, अगर माँ बाप बच्चों के सामने लड़ रहे हैं, एक दूसरे को गाली गलौज दे रहे हैं और गलत बात इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं, तो बच्चों को डिस्टर्ब होता है, बच्चों के परफॉर्मेंस में फर्क पड़ता है. और आप नहीं समझते ये बात को. आप समझते हैं बच्चे छोटे हैं, अगर बच्चे आपसे चालाक है. इस जनरेशन में बहुत से पेरेंट्स को मोबाइल फोन, इंटरनेट यूज करना बहुत मुश्किल था, जो काम को नहीं जाते. बच्चे आपको सिखा देंगे, अब्बा ये करे तो ये होता, ये करे तो ये होता, ये करे तो ये होता, मोबाइल फोन कैसा यूज करना. द चिल्ड्रन आर गोइंग टू टीच यू, एंड चिल्ड्रन आर वेरी स्मार्ट. दे अडैप्ट टू द टेक्नोलॉजी लाइक नो वन डज. द पेरेंटिंग हैज टू बी इफेक्टिव. दिस इज अ गोल्डन अपॉर्चुनिटी फॉर द पेरेंट्स टू स्पेंड टाइम विद किड्स. मेरे 2 बच्चे हैं. आई एम अ पेरेंट माई सेल्फ. आई एम अ ट्रेनर, आई एम अ पेरेंट, आई एम अ कोच. I play different roles. I found this amazing opportunity to spend time with my kids. And then we designed a curriculum. घर का curriculum बनाए हम लोग बैठ के. क्या करेंगे? फजर को उठेंगे, साथ में नमाजें पढ़ेंगे. जब कोरोना था, मस्जिदें खुली नहीं थी, तो साथ में नमाजें पढ़े. क्या एक अल्लाह की नेमत देखो. घरों में साथ में नमाजें नहीं होती थी. 5 वक्त साथ में नमाजें होने की. मैं इमामत करता, कभी मेरा लड़का इमामत करता. And we started exercising at home. घर में एक्सरसाइज करने का स्टार्ट किए. And I lost weight, my kid lost weight, my wife lost weight, my daughter lost weight, and they became healthy family. And then we are able to discuss, because the education of the mind without the education of the heart produces civilized barbarians. And let me repeat this sentence. This is crucial. Don't only focus on the education of the mind of the kid. बच्चा चालाक होना चाहिए, बच्चे के अंदर knowledge होना चाहिए, बच्चे के अंदर ये होना चाहिए. ये सारी दिमागी qualities आप देखते हैं, मगर दिल की qualities कौन देखता है? ये parent का काम है. एजुकेशन ऑफ द माइंड जो है वो टीचर का काम है. एजुकेशन ऑफ द हार्ट जो है वो पेरेंटिंग का काम है. पेरेंट्स अपना हाथ मत धोइए. स्कूल को भेज देने से, स्कूल की फीस भर देने से, ट्यूशन को भेजने से, ट्यूशन की फीस भर देने से आपकी जिम्मेदारी कंप्लीट नहीं होती. Please understand, you cannot substitute with your time with the money that you spend on your kid for the tuitions. So education of the mind is taken care by the teachers. Education of the heart should be taken care by the parents. And there's a beautiful saying that says, education of the mind without the education of the heart produces civilized barbarians. Hitler was a qualified engineer. Mahatma Gandhi was a qualified barrister. Both were qualified people. But what was the attitude? Hitler wanted to kill everyone in this world, and Gandhiji brought everyone together. Education of the heart, very, very important. जो आप सीखते हैं स्कूल में, कॉलेज में, वो कहाँ इस्तेमाल करेंगे, कैसे इस्तेमाल करेंगे, आपकी चालाकी किस तरफ इस्तेमाल करेंगे, very important. And that guiding force is the responsibility of the parents. The parents will become a role model for your child. Whenever I meet a child, मेरा पहला सवाल, the first question I want ask any kid I interact with, what do you want to become when you grow up? मैं उनके चेहरे को देखता हूँ, उसकी आंखों में एक अजीब सी चमक होती है. What do you want to become in future? वो कहेगा डॉक्टर. 5 मिनट के बाद में कहे नहीं सर मैं क्रिकेट खेलना चाहता हूँ. 5 मिनट के बाद में कहे नहीं सर मुझे एक्टिंग करना बहुत पसंद है. But when you talk about what they want to become future, very few kids say that I want to become like my dad. And when I hear that answer, कि मैं मेरे डैड की तरह बनना चाहता हूँ, मेरी मॉम की तरह बनना चाहता हूँ, जब मुझे वो जवाब मिलता है ना, then I know the parenting has been a very effective job. वो पेरेंट्स अपना काम कर चुके हैं. क्योंकि जब बच्चे बड़े होते हैं तो आप ही को देखते हैं. They see the world through your eyes and they hear the world through your words. And the parents are not going to be the role models. अगर पेरेंट के हाथ में सिगरेट है और बच्चों को बात कर रहे हैं, वो यकीन मानिए आपसे अच्छी ब्रांड सिगरेट वो आपके सामने पिएगा एक दिन. यकीन मानिए, I promise you this. What you teach your kid is going to be for lifeline. What they learn in the school, they do it for various reasons. What remains with them is the education of the heart. So parents, you need to be the role models. And that responsibility is yours. And हुज़ूर पाक सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम ने फरमा दिया है कि बच्चों की तरबियत करना पेरेंट की जवाबदारी है, मिसाल की तरह लेक्चर्स देना नहीं. आप टीवी ऑन रहती है, आप टीवी देखते रहते हैं और बच्चों को कहते हैं कि आप होमवर्क करो. कहाँ करेगा बच्चा? बोलिए. वो अगले कमरे में जाएगा, टीवी का साउंड आएगा, डिस्टर्ब होगा उसे. आप टीवी ऑफ करेंगे, वो होमवर्क करेगा. मगर ये नहीं करते पेरेंट्स. बच्चों की शिकायत करने में नंबर 1 रहते हैं. You need to create a atmosphere at home where your kids are going to be enjoying the fruits of the same. Now, the parenting is a golden opportunity in this breakdown COVID-19 situation. And then when the schools reopen, whenever they reopen, the students have to grab this opportunity. देखिए, मैं बच्चों से यही कहता हूँ, जब आपके स्कूल्स चलते हैं, you are busy in the morning to, कई बच्चे तो सवेरे सवेरे ट्यूशन जाते हैं, बाद में स्कूल जाते हैं, बाद में शाम में एक ट्यूशन जाते हैं. They are all caught up. हेल्थ के बारे में, this is the beautiful. आपके पास में घर में टाइम है, आप बाहर मत निकलिए, घर में एक्सरसाइज कीजिए, अपनी फिजिकल फिटनेस को लाइए, अपने जो डाइटिंग है उसके ऊपर फोकस कीजिए. देखिए, आप जब फिट रहेंगे फिजिकली, योर माइंड विल बिकम शार्प. When you are not fit, most of the parents don't give any focus on the fitness of the child. उनको सिर्फ मार्क्स चाहिए, मार्क्स कार्ड चाहिए, अच्छे मार्क्स चाहिए, अच्छा परफॉर्मेंस चाहिए, बच्चे की सेहत नहीं चाहिए. जब सेहतमंद रहेगा तब he will work, the mind will work amazingly well. And that, I think it is missing in today's world. There is a beautiful prayer in the English which says, God, give me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. बहुत बढ़िया दुआ है. मैं फिर एक बार आपसे कहता हूँ, God, give me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change. चंद चीजें आपकी जिंदगी में आप चेंज नहीं कर पाते. एक मसलन, मैं एक लड़का होकर पैदा हूं, मैं लड़की नहीं हो सकता. लड़की होकर कोई पैदा हुए तो लड़का नहीं. These are the things that you cannot change. उसको एक्सेप्ट करना है. बट नेक्स्ट सेंटेंस में क्या है? The courage to change the things I can. मैं एक अच्छा लड़का बन सकता हूँ, मैं अच्छी लड़की बन सकता हूँ. That is my focus. और ये दोनों का फर्क जो है ना, उसको समझना वो विजडम है. और वो विजडम मिल गया ना बच्चों को, they will outperform anybody. And I have traveled the world. Let me tell you this. Indian kids are the most smart kids, most intelligent kids, most obedient kids in the world. In the world. I'm proud of my country. I'm proud of my next generation. These are the kids who are going to be the future of this country. They are the future doctors, they are future teachers, they are future singers, dancers, actors, cricket players. But how we mold them at home is very important. Let me quote an example of Sachin Tendulkar here. 10th standard fail. And he took up cricket. अगर उसके पेरेंट्स सचिन को कहते, तू 10th फेल हुआ है, नालायक, पहले 10th पास कर ले, बाद में क्रिकेट की बैट उठाना, अगर 10th पास करने से पहले क्रिकेट को तू गया, वो बैट से लेकर तेरे हड्डियां तोड़ डालते. That would be the standard answer from every parent. But what happened is very different. सचिन के पेरेंट्स ने एनकरेज किया कि आप फुल टाइम क्रिकेट खेलो. अभी तक हिस्ट्री में अभी तक सचिन तेंदुलकर हैज नॉट कंप्लीटेड 10th स्टैंडर्ड. ही इज अ 10th फेलियर इन मैथ्स अभी तक, but he is the richest cricket player, one of the richest cricket players, and he is one of the best batsmen in the world. क्या सीख मिलती है हमें कि हर बच्चे के अंदर एक खूबी होती है. अगर सचिन को आप इंजीनियर बनाने की कोशिश करते हैं, सचिन को आप डॉक्टर बनाने की कोशिश करते हैं, he would have been utter failure. ना तो वो क्रिकेट प्लेयर बनता, ना तो वो इंजीनियर बनता, ना तो वो डॉक्टर बनता, क्योंकि उसके अंदर वो सलाहियत नहीं थी. उसके अंदर सलाहियत ये थी कि वो बेहतरीन क्रिकेट प्लेयर बन सकता. उसको मौका दिया गया. ये मौका देने से सचिन आज हमारे सामने दुनिया की शान बनकर हमारे कंट्री का एक स्टार बैट्समैन है. बच्चों के अंदर खूबियां होती हैं, अलग अलग खूबियां होती हैं. कोई स्पोर्ट्स में कोई टैलेंट रहता है, कोई लिटरेचर में टैलेंट होता है. उसको पहचानना है और उसको एनकरेज करना है. जब हम देखेंगे वर्ल्ड क्लास परफॉर्मेंस, वर्ल्ड क्लास, वी नीड वर्ल्ड क्लास लीडर्स. Our kids have the potential to be world class, and if we don't give them an opportunity, they will never come up. मैं एक एग्जांपल देता हूँ. गुलबर्गा से मेरे एक दोस्त हैं, उनका नाम है शेख तनवीर अहमद. वो बहुत कम उम्र में IAS ऑफिसर बने हैं. उनकी पोस्टिंग अब दिल्ली में टूरिज्म डिपार्टमेंट में है. और ये शख्स, मैसूर में मुझे मुलाकात हुई इनसे लास्ट ईयर, तो दौरान गुफ्तगू मुझे पता चला कि वो गुलबर्गा से हैं और मैसूर में ट्रेनिंग के लिए आए हैं. तो मैं उनको मेरे इंस्टीट्यूट, हैंडराइटिंग इंस्टीट्यूट इंडिया को चीफ गेस्ट बना के उनको इन्वाइट किया. वो आए, अपनी तकरीर में वो बताए कि 6th स्टैंडर्ड में वो फेल हो चुके थे. अब सुनिए इनकी बात. 6th स्टैंडर्ड में बच्चा फेल होता है, और उनके उनके वालिद पुलिस इंस्पेक्टर थे. पुलिस इंस्पेक्टर अब रिटायर हैं, कांस्टेबल थे फॉर एग्जांपल, शायद वो इंस्पेक्टर होकर रिटायर हुए. उनसे भी मुलाकात हुई. तो 6th स्टैंडर्ड में फेल होने के बाद में उनके माँ बाप उनके सामने एक बात रखी. अगर आपको अच्छा पढ़ना है तो आपके जो साथियां हैं उनका साथ छोड़ना है, क्योंकि उनका फ्रेंड सर्कल इतना खराब हो चुका था कि फ्रेंड सर्कल में ज्यादा से ज्यादा स्टूडेंट्स फेल हो रहे थे. तो पेरेंट्स ने एक चॉइस रखा, अगर आपको कामयाबी देखना है तो बच्चों का साथ छोड़ना है, एंड देन यू शुड फोकस ऑन स्टडीज. एंड ही टुक अप द चैलेंज एंड ही बिकेम वन ऑफ द यंगेस्ट IAS ऑफिसर इन द रीजन ऑफ कर्नाटक एंड गोवा. एंड देन रेस्ट इज हिस्ट्री. पेरेंटिंग सपोर्ट इसे कहते हैं. बच्चों को समझना है. अनिल कुंबले, वन ऑफ द बेस्ट क्रिकेट प्लेयर्स इन द वर्ल्ड, मैं उनसे इंटरव्यू करने का मौका मिला 1997 में, जो 100 विकेट्स कंप्लीट किए चिन्नास्वामी स्टेडियम में. उनका इंटरव्यू किया. उनके डैड कृष्णस्वामी, उनका इंटरव्यू किया. उनसे एक सवाल पूछा, अनिल कुंबले के अंदर क्या ऐसी बात है जो इतने अच्छे बेहतरीन क्रिकेट प्लेयर हैं? तो उन्होंने कहा कि यह बात आपको जानकर खुशी होगी कि अनिल कुंबले जब एग्जाम्स होते हैं, इंजीनियरिंग स्टूडेंट हैं, जब एग्जाम्स होते हैं तो 16 आवर पढ़ते हैं. और जब एग्जाम नहीं है, क्रिकेट होता है, तो 16 आवर क्रिकेट की प्रैक्टिस करते हैं. और अनिल कुंबले जब he was playing for India, he was writing his final year in engineering exams, mechanical engineer from college in Bangalore, RV College in Bangalore. And guess what? A distinction student, a world-class bowler, and a very, very influential gentleman. सब चीज माँ बाप की तरबियत से हुआ. And they loved the kid. जब एग्जाम्स थे 16 आवर पढ़ने की छूट थी, जब क्रिकेट खेलना था 16 आवर तैयारी करने की छूट थी. ये होता है रोल पेरेंट्स का. अगर ये रोल को पेरेंट्स समझ जाएं, हमारे बच्चों तो बहुत बेहतरीन काम करेंगे, क्योंकि हमारे पास एजुकेशन है. जैसे हमारे अब्दुल सुभान साहब हैं, इस फैल्कन और शाहीन ग्रुप को तो माशाल्लाह, अल्लाह उनको और बरकत दे. फख्र महसूस होता है कि हमारे कौम के बच्चे इनकी तालीम से, इनकी एक रहबर से, हमारे खदीर साहब की एक लीडरशिप से हमारा सर ऊंचा हो जाता है. And they are beautifully doing that well. And अनवर साहब को मैं congratulations कहना चाहता हूँ. He invited me to be a part of this session. I thoroughly enjoyed, and my co-panelists like Ms. Priyanka Singh and Dr. Geeta, and then also our Abdul Subhan Saab. They were wonderful. I think this is the need of the hour, and the parents can take away a lot from this. And we look forward to be with you in various forums and extend our supports. Thank you very much. Jazakallahu khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you very much, sir. I thank all our guest lecturers today. And meanwhile, we are now starting the open session, and people who have the questions, they can raise their hands. I cannot promise all the participants to like all the participants are going to question, but certainly a random people will be allowed. So may kindly accept my apologies at the initiative only. Norain Aisha, kindly ask your question. Basit. Basit.
Yes, sir. Actually, my mother wants to ask, sir.
Yes, yes, please. Please ask to the concerned guest. Take their name and ask them a direct question. They are open now.
Assalamu alaikum. I would just want to ask, my question is to Subhan sir.
Yes, please go ahead.
Sir, we are having this online classes. After this online classes, how many hours do they need the laptop?
Okay. This is, I think, the right question which a mother should especially ask. I think right now what is happening, which I came to know, many parents come and tell me this. Because in the name of online classes के नाम पे बच्चे मोबाइल के साथ ही रहते हैं. They sleep with the mobile. सुबह से शाम तक complete almost 12-14 hours they are on the mobile. I think Dr. Geeta Apachu was just trying to convey the same point कि ये जो addiction होता है, gadgets का addiction, ये बच्चों को बहुत खराब चीज है. देखिए, सबसे important चीज हमको ये समझने की है कि ये जो ऑनलाइन जो प्लेटफॉर्म है, ये सिर्फ एक मीन है हमारे लिए, मीन्स है, एक जरिया है बच्चे तक तालीम को पहुंचाने का. सिर्फ और सिर्फ क्लासेस की हद तक हम ऑनलाइन क्लासेस जब चलते हैं ना, जब लाइव क्लास बच्चे की होती है, तभी बच्चे को ऑनलाइन रहना है, तभी वो क्लास को देखना है. जब क्लास कंप्लीट होती है और उसको असाइनमेंट मिलता है या फिर उसको बाद में जो नोट्स बनाता है बच्चा, उसके बेसिस पे अगर उसको कुछ करना है तो वो ऑनलाइन से उसको कुछ लेना देना नहीं होता. बच्चे को देखिए, ये एक ब्लेंड की जरूरत होती है, एक ऑनलाइन और ऑफलाइन के ब्लेंड की जरूरत होती है. हमारी तरफ से जो टीचर जो पढ़ाई करते हैं, जो पढ़ाते हैं, अगर 5 घंटे पढ़ाते हैं या 6 घंटे भी अगर पढ़ाई होती है, 6 घंटे ज्यादा है लेकिन 6 घंटे भी अगर पढ़ाई होती है, तो उसके बाद मुझे नहीं लगता कि और ज्यादा टाइम बच्चे को लैपटॉप पे बैठने की जरूरत है. जो पढ़ाया जाता है, पढ़ाने के बाद आफ्टर द टीचिंग आवर स्टूडेंट शुड स्टडी. स्टूडेंट कैसे पढ़ेगा? स्टूडेंट को पढ़ाई करने के लिए सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट, जब क्लास चलती है तो उसको रनिंग नोट्स लेने हैं. जब क्लास कंप्लीट हो जाती है तो उसको अपनी खुद की एनसीईआरटी जो टेक्स्ट बुक है उसके हिसाब से अपने नोट्स बनाने हैं, डिटेल्ड नोट्स बनाने हैं. उसको कल सुबह के एग्जाम के लिए तैयारी करनी है. उसको और कोई लेक्चर देखने की जरूरत नहीं है. अगर बच्चे को कहीं कोई कॉन्सेप्ट में डाउट आया जो टीचर ने पढ़ाया, तो हो सकता है बच्चा 5 मिनट के लिए वो वापस वो कॉन्सेप्ट को जाके रिकॉर्डेड क्लास पे देखेगा. लेकिन फिर एक 5 घंटे सिर्फ ऑनलाइन क्लासेस के नाम पे पेरेंट्स आप मोहतात रहना है. यू हैव टू बी कॉशियस. बच्चों के लिए सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट चीज आपका जो रोल है वो है, खास तौर पे इस पैंडेमिक में जहाँ पे बच्चे हमारे से कंट्रोल में नहीं है. ये आज के कंट्रोल में. ये आपकी जिम्मेदारी है कि अगर बच्चा 5 घंटे ऑनलाइन क्लासेस देखता है तो उसके 5 घंटे उसकी सेल्फ स्टडी होती है, उससे उसको ऑनलाइन से कुछ लेना देना नहीं होता. उसको नोट्स बनाने होते हैं, उसके शॉर्ट नोट्स बनाने होते हैं, उसको आंसर्स, क्वेश्चंस के आंसर्स लिखने हैं, उसको तैयारी करनी है नेक्स्ट मॉर्निंग के टेस्ट की. नेक्स्ट मॉर्निंग जो टेस्ट होगा उसमें 40 क्वेश्चंस आएंगे, वो 40 मिनट्स में बच्चा कंप्लीट करेगा. और उसको ऑन डेली बेसिस ही हैज टू प्रिपेयर. बेकार आपको बार बार देखना है, जब बच्चा क्लास लेता है तभी भी देखना है. मतलब क्लास को डिस्टर्ब करते हुए नहीं देखना कि बच्चा क्लास देख रहा है नहीं देख रहा. आपको बच्चे के ऊपर नजर रखनी है कि बच्चा जो क्लास के नाम पे जो लैपटॉप खोल के बैठा है कि वेदर ही इज यूटिलाइजिंग दैट टाइम और नॉट. और आफ्टर द कॉलेज आवर्स, आफ्टर द क्लासेस इज ओवर, यू डोंट हैव टू गिव द चाइल्ड द गैजेट. दैट आफ्टर द क्लास आवर ही हैज टू सिट विथ हिज बुक्स, विथ हिज नोटबुक, विथ हिज टेक्स्ट बुक, and he has to prepare his notes. He has to prepare for the exam. I think that, hope that has answered your question.
Yes, if he says that I don't really, I need to see the lecture once again because कुछ समझ में नहीं आया मुझे, ऐसा कुछ बोलते हैं, तो
देखिए
really do they need it really?
नहीं नहीं नहीं, देखिए बच्चे को अगर 6 घंटे की अगर क्लास हो रही है तो और 6 घंटे बच्चे को देखने की जरूरत नहीं होती। अगर बच्चा लेट से फिजिक्स की क्लास 1 घंटे की हुई है और या कोई बायोलॉजी की क्लास 1 घंटे की हुई है, तो बच्चे को अगर डाउट हो सकता है तो कोई एक कॉन्सेप्ट में डाउट हो सकता है, कोई एक टॉपिक में डाउट हो सकता है, वो शायद एक 5 मिनट का हो या 10 मिनट का हो, उसके लिए बच्चे को और पूरा 1 घंटा बैठने की जरूरत नहीं है। ये तो एडवांटेज है ऑनलाइन क्लासेस का, जहाँ पे बच्चा डायरेक्टली जहाँ पे उसको जो कॉन्सेप्ट समझ में नहीं आया, जो पॉइंट समझ में आया, डायरेक्टली वहां पे ड्रैग कर सकता है और वो देख सकता है और अपना टाइम बचा सकता है। नहीं तो नॉर्मल सिचुएशन में ये होता है कि अगर बच्चे को कुछ कॉलेज में समझ में नहीं आता तो पेरेंट्स बच्चे को किसी ट्यूशन सेंटर को भेजते हैं, जहाँ पे वो ट्यूशन सेंटर में उसको फिर शुरू से पढ़ाया जाता है। यहाँ पे ऐसा नहीं है, जो बच्चे को समझ में नहीं आया खाली बच्चा डायरेक्टली वही खोल ड्रैग करके कर्सर को वहां से देख सकता है जो उसको समझ में नहीं आया और आगे बढ़ सकता है। बच्चे को सेल्फ स्टडी करनी ज्यादा पड़ती है। देखिए कोई भी बच्चे का, जो भी बच्चा रिजल्ट लाता है वो अपना रिजल्ट लाता है अपनी सेल्फ स्टडी से। बच्चों को जो टीचिंग का जो एस्पेक्ट है वो खाली एक्सप्लेनेशन होता है। कॉन्सेप्ट समझने के बाद बच्चे को कॉन्सेप्ट को लर्न करना होता है। लर्निंग इज ए इंडिविजुअल प्रोसेस। बच्चे को खुद को बैठ के जो कॉन्सेप्ट पढ़ाया गया है उसके हिसाब से क्वेश्चंस को अप्लाई करना पड़ता है। सिचुएशन वाइज क्वेश्चन होते हैं, वो हर अलग अलग सिचुएशन के हिसाब से अप्लाई करना है कॉन्सेप्ट को, और बच्चे को खुद को प्रैक्टिस करना पड़ेगा। अगर आप मॉड्यूल्स नहीं लिए हैं, कॉलेज के मॉड्यूल्स लीजिए। अगर आपके पास एनसीईआरटी बुक नहीं है तो बच्चे को एनसीईआरटी बुक दिलाइए। ही हैज टू सिट विथ हिज बुक्स, ही हैज टू डू दैट एडिशनल एफर्ट ऑन हिज ओन, द सेल्फ स्टडी जो ऑनलाइन रहने दीजिए, ऑफलाइन रहने दीजिए, बच्चे को करनी ही है। मिनिमम 5 घंटे के लिए अगर कोई कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्जाम की तैयारी करता है, 4 से 5 घंटे बच्चा सेल्फ स्टडी करना चाहिए डेली।
Thank you, Subhan sir. Thank you
Yes.
very much. Next, we have Sana Fatima. Sana Fatima, kindly unmute and ask a question to the respective guest. Yasin Sheikh. Yasin Sheikh. Gulnaz Parveen. I think they have their network issues. I think we have come to the conclusion of this session, and finally, I would like to have 1 minute conclusion remarks from all the guests, beginning from Geeta Madam. Geeta Madam.
Ma'am, you have to unmute yourself.
Geeta ma'am, please unmute your.
Yes.
Yeah. Please.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, it's audible.
Yes. Okay. I'm sure this webinar was for a purpose. I'm sure the webinar was basically to make parents comfortable that, we have to essentially make our children more self-responsible. I'm sure the webinar was to make every student understand that the pandemic should not change our attitude towards life. I have just one thing to say as a conclusion, that when we appreciate the organizers for taking this effort, for thinking for our future generation, dear students, I think it is very required for us to develop the right attitude. The pandemic has actually given us something very, very beautiful and concrete. One, to learn a lesson for our lives, which is different from running a very fast paced life in Bangalore, right from the traffic to everything that we were experiencing until the end of Jan and Feb. Now things have been so different with this lockdown and, a little parts reopening, schools being closed for the safety of students. Can we actually align ourselves to a beautiful, harmonious relationship with our parents? It's sad when parents, I have seen parent asking the principal of this esteemed institution that, should we give a laptop, should our child continue to have the laptop even after the online class? Why this question? Why this question? The point is that this question is being asked
Madam,
because I think there is no semblance in the kind of reasoning that the child is giving and the kind of over anxiety that the parent is having. Agree with me, right? So the parent is just thinking that, oh my God, my child is holding on to this laptop for hours together and probably doing something else. Let's not play the game of hide and seek, because trust me, one life, and it is so beautiful that the right attitude can definitely bring about the inner motivation to do well. It is not difficult at all. The pandemic cannot change this attitude in us. Every speaker has tried to trust me, you can. Let's just, वो नजरिया बोलते हैं ना, that perspective. Let's just bring about the right perspective. It can happen. We don't have to lie to our parents that we need the laptop forever, the whole 24 hours. We don't need to actually just kind of get addicted to the other social sites just because we are having this gadget. Yes, the algorithm basically is set in such a way that it can make addicts out of us. But can't we be smarter? I'm sure we are talking to a wonderful generation of smart and capable students. And hence, parents, please do not believe that it has to be with pressure. It can be with a lot of concern, the right amount of affection, and clarity. Yes, clarity. That we all do our bit with sincerity and earnestness. This earnestness is definitely required for all of us in life. Thank you. Thank you for giving me this chance to interact. It has been a different kind of a forum, different speakers talking their concerns, their line of thoughts. But I'm sure we all meant that wish you all the best to the youngsters, to the future generation, and for parents not to be over anxious, because yes, there is the existence of pandemic and nothing has changed from March till now. Nothing has changed. It is just the same nature. Just we need to realize that we need to just be very conscious of our own hygiene. We need to be more aware of the way we deal with ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Abdul Subhan sir, kindly give a concluding
yes,
remarks.
I think the reopening now, I think every chat message which any child whoever has written, I think most of the chat messages was about when is the colleges reopening. Reopening, I think whenever the colleges are going to reopen, I think Andhra has already started. In our all neighbors, I think Pondicherry has decided now. Telangana and Andhra both have decided. UP has already started. There are different states have, because union government has taken a decision that it will be a decision of each state to take a call on this. So every state is taking based on taking the decision based on the situation of that particular state. So with respect to Karnataka, the decision was taken earlier. 2 times the decision was taken somewhere, but the number of cases was on rise. I think again they had to withdraw the decision. There were consultations. I think the processes are already on. Still the process is on to understand when and how to open, in which I think the opening is going to be there for sure. That is certain. And that is going to be a phase-wise opening. Not all the classes are going to be open and in one go. Rather, I think the news which we are seeing is after 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, in one go, that too not full-fledged. It can start with 3 hours or 4 hours a day. Kind of, these are general guidelines which other states are following, and that is what we are hearing even here. But the exact guideline and which exact date it is going to start, nobody has the information, and we cannot even predict it, because it is a very crucial decision. It is our we have to trust our the bureaucrats who are sitting there, the lawmakers, all those responsible people. They will take a responsible decision looking at all the parameters. So all the children, I think you don't have to worry about that particular day when it is going to open. If at all you are not utilizing the time which you have now, then really you have lot many things to worry later on when the colleges reopen. So my only earnest request for every student and even for the parents is the same thing. Don't make this pandemic as an excuse for postponing things. There is nothing which is going to be stopped in your life because of pandemic. There is nothing which has stopped last year when the pandemic was at its peak. And the same situation is going to be there in the future. If you don't act smartly and if you don't use the time effectively now, then there is a challenge ahead for many students. You have a challenge which we understand, all of us we understand, we all are with you. But at the very same time, I request every child to find an opportunity in the given challenge for yourself. You have to do your bit. Do whatever you can do in the given challenges, in the given circumstances. Trust me, as Rafiullah Beg Sahab said, God will not, there is nothing more going to be, आपके ऊपर कोई ज्यादा आजमाइश होने वाली नहीं है जो आप बर्दाश्त नहीं कर सकते. जितना आप बर्दाश्त कर सकते हो उतनी आपके ऊपर आजमाइश होने वाली है. लेकिन आपको कोताही नहीं करनी है, लापरवाही नहीं करनी है. You should not later on regret for any time or opportunity which you are missing now. Don't waste this time, this opportunity, the time which you are getting. I think many students, even if we open in the month of December, I am telling to you 11th standard students, 12th standard students, because that is my core, I think the student base where I interact with the parents and the students alike all the time. And at the same time, the NEET students, I think those who want to repeat, many are still waiting, that they think that exam NEET is going to be postponed. Nothing is going to change. Exams were conducted last year in 2020, in 2020 exams were conducted. Exams will be conducted in 2021. You have to be ready for your examination. You have to be responsible for your own career. For that, don't get worried too much. There is you will not be asked for anything beyond what you can do. You are going to be asked, you are going to be tested only for what you can do. So what we are expecting every student to do what you can do, not which is beyond your capabilities. You can, all of you still have, every one of you have the opportunity that you can still do your best if you put in the right energy, right effective utilization of time, can give very good results to all of you. I wish everybody, all the students, I think we want to see you soon in the campuses. We all are here. I think whenever the colleges reopen, I don't know the date, but trust me, I have come to my college every day, even in the strictest lockdown period when there was nobody allowed to come on the street. I made my way to the campus. I wanted it to be open by which I can take some online classes for you. I can do something for you to have the online classes. I think we all are here for you. It does not matter when that date of reopening of colleges starts. but your learning should not stop and it should not open there. Your learning is a continuous process. It is not dependent on the whether you are in college premise or at your home. Learning should go on, and I believe everybody can do their best. Thank you.
Thank you, Subhan sir. Thank you very much. Madam Priyanka, can we have your concluding remarks, please?
Unmuted.
You
Priyanka,
Yes, thank you.
yes,
Thank you for allowing me to speak. I was in mute. So,
it's your time now.
yeah, so first of all, Rafiullah ji, hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Uh,
Yes.
thank you so much for your Diwali wishes because it means a lot, such wishes coming from your own people. So thank you so much. And
Pleasure. Mine.
thank you. I would like to use Mahatma Gandhi's one of the quote that future depends on what we do in the present. I think this is what we all have to think and start doing now, no matter we are in which situation. I think we have to keep on going in terms of learning. We are not allowed to stop. We are the best human beings. We represent a country of fighters, a country of warriors, country of learners. And as you said, Rafiullah ji, earlier, that you have been to many countries and you believe that the Indian kids, Indian students are the best. So I think we just have to, take it forward our culture of being best, and that we can only do if we'll not stop learning. But yes, we do have to adopt modern techniques as well. We have to, being a parent, we have to understand the value and importance of personal space. We have to understand the importance of communication, the positive parental involvement, and a positive communication with a parent. We have to be friends with some guideline. The way we are following COVID guideline, I think the same way we parents have to start following some guidelines by keeping our new generation in mind. Because if we compare, I mean, if I compare my childhood, then my child's childhood is way different. I mean, when I was
Napkin tappyava.
okay, Dr. Geeta, you have to mute yourself. So when we were child, the situation was different, and when we talk to our kids nowadays, they know much more than what I used to know earlier, right? So I think we also have to work on developing our parenting skills. As Mr. Rafiullah, actually, I was very impressed with your entire conversation, because you said about Mr.
Thank you.
you know that you were talking to his father, and he said that he is dedicated to whatever he is doing, either it is study or his game. So that was the perfect example of positive parenting. He was able to do it because he enhanced his skills by keeping the future of his child in mind. So I think this is what, as a parent, we all have to understand. Being a teacher, being an educationist, we always get opportunity to brush up ourselves. We talk to each other, we go to different conference, to webinars. So we always learn something from each other. I think parents, they don't get that much of opportunity, right? When mothers are working, when fathers are working, they learn from their colleagues. Acha, what your child is doing? My child is doing this. My child earned one gold medal. Mine is not at all doing anything every time he's in game. So there are a lot of conversation happens, and we just get involved into that. We don't think beyond that what to do. So I will completely agree with your point that we have to enhance our skills as a parent. We have to start understanding that not only my point of view as a parent is correct, but my child's point of view also matters. They are the next generation. So suppose if my child is saying something, let's understand what it is, instead of using the copyright statement of parents, nahi hone wala, I'm not listening, you have to do what I have asked to, right? So this is something where we have to work on. So I will request all the parents that, being an educator, principal, teachers, professor, we all are open to talk. And you parents are most welcome to come and talk to us. We are ready to make you learn, and we are ready to learn from you, because we all are connected because of that child, right? So let's make a circle around that child, help our future to be positive, progressive, and best. So thank you so much, all the panelists, for, because I have learned a lot more than talking. I think I was listening. I was literally busy making my pointers, which I can use, with my kids. So thank you so much to all the respective panelists, Mr. Abdul, Mr. Rafiullah, and Dr. Geeta. Thank you so much. It was lovely, sharing the stage with all of you. And I'm going to copy your statement, Rafiullah ji.
You're most welcome. I want to congratulate Priyanka ji for being head of the institution. She's so open and she's put herself into a student position to learn. And these are the people who are going to make it big. People who learn are going to be the best teachers. And I tell my students whenever I do my sessions, look, you have one teacher in me. But if you look at from my side, there are 250 kids who are teaching me something. So I'm honored that I am standing before 250 kids who are going to teach me something new that I didn't know, because each human being is so different. Each child is so different. God has made it very clear that we come here in this world as originals, and we don't have to be anybody's copycat. We are proud to be ourselves, exactly the way we are and exactly the way we are not. And that's why we should enjoy being ourselves.
Indeed. Thank you.
And Musab, you have to unmute. Unmute.
You are on mute.
Yeah, my apologies. I was saying that Rafiq Saab has very nicely concluded his remarks along with the Priyanka. So now finally we have come to the conclusion of this session, and now I want to conclude this by saying that teachers are the people who make the leaders in the society. Without teachers, there are no possibilities. There are no possibilities that a kid going to improvise himself or see the inside, the light within him, and bring it forward. Parents can do whatever the best possibilities to submit to these teachers only. As Rafiq Sahab has rightly said it, they try to bring some substitute and push upon the teachers. So teachers are playing the most important role. I myself would like to say that today, if I am organizing something, if I am hosting something, it's only because of my teacher, Father Thomas Champakar. I give all the credit to my father, Thomas Champakar. I have come from a very Kannada medium vernacular, a very grammatical Kannada medium vernacular, but today I can speak English. It's only because of him. So I thank through this show to my teacher, Father Thomas Champakar. So coming to this session, there are some guidelines which I would like to bring to the notice of the people who are there in the participants. Like government has given the guidelines saying that students are at the discretion. If they want to attend physical classes, they can attend. If they do not want to attend, they cannot attend. One. Second, parents are given the power. If they want to send their children to the schools and colleges, they can send. Otherwise, they cannot send. And thirdly, all the institutions are requested to take the consent letter from their parents so that they are not forcing the children or forcing the kids or forcing the students to come to the colleges. It is at the option and discretion of the parents as well as the students. Now, coming to the other aspect of containment zones, wherever the containment zone, any faculty is coming from or any institution is situated, such institutions and faculties are excused. They are not forced to do, and they are not mandatorily come to the institutions or mandatorily open any of the institutions which are subject to the containment zones. Apart from that, there are social distancing norms, there are sanitization procedures which are which are mandatorily to be followed, and only under the supervision of the dean, principal, or the any of the head of the institutions. They have to take care of all the students, all the faculty members. Only then they are allowed to open the institutions. So I believe that this session was a kind of benefiting to all the parents and the participants along with the students. I thank personally Rafiq Saab, Priyanka Madam, Abdul Subhan Saab, along with Geeta Madam for giving their wonderful and precious time for this session. Thank you so much. Thank
You're
you so
most
much.
welcome. And I just want to convey my thanks to Rafiq Jabbar Saab, who made it possible for me to be here from ETV. And then there is a beautiful quote from Abdul Kalam Saab, which I love to quote. And he writes in his book that dreams are not those that you see when you are asleep. Dreams are those that will take your sleep away. So thank you very much. Congratulations, everyone. Look forward to meet you very soon in next opportunity. Thank you, Ms. Singh, for your kind words.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you to all the respective panelists and Rafiqji. Thank you. It was lovely knowing and talking to all of you.
And all thanks lies to the Falcon Institution who have taken this initiative. Of course, Rafiq Sahab, he's an editor in ETV Urdu News, who has taken all the initiatives and given us opportunity to interact with such a beautiful people on this earth. Thank you so much.